All right, everybody, how's it going? We have some news from around the NFL, as you've probably already heard by now from several other sources. I'm just getting around to making the video. It is what it is. I've been a little busy. But Lions wide receiver Kenny Golladay reached an agreement with the Giants. So he's now a member of the New York Giants. He's getting a 4-year, $72 million contract, and I think it's $40 million of it's guaranteed. So he's getting very, very well paid. So it's exactly what the Giants wanted, exactly what Kenny wanted, a long-term deal with a ton of money attached to it. $18 million a season is quite a good deal. It's quite a bit of money to pay. Yeah, it gives Daniel Jones a #1 target. They have now a pretty decent receiving core. With Golladay, Rudolph, somewhat with Evan Ingram. Maybe go draft another receiver. And all of a sudden, Daniel Jones has a full roster of weapons, including his running back, Saquon Barkley. So, excuse me about that. Sorry about that. I had to cough really bad there. I don't know why that was. But yeah, so now we see he's officially a Giant. He was a member of the Lions. He put up big numbers in his career. And yeah, I was going to say he is the best wide receiver off the market. I assume the Bears' visit for wide receiver was to push Allen Robinson. Yeah. Okay. What else are we looking at? The Giants locking a #1 wide receiver in Kenny Golladay, paying him $18 million a season. The Bears came out strong with a significant push, essentially a last-ditch recruiting effort. But Kenny Golladay wanted the Giants in the suits, so he wanted to be a Giant. It sounds like. For all intents and purposes, it does sound like the Giants were the team that was going to win regardless. I know the Bengals were trying to get him. And they offered a contract, but it was nowhere near $18 million a season. I think it was like a 1 year, like $15 million contract. Whereas the Giants were like, listen, we need a #1 wide receiver. He looked like a #1 receiver for the Lions, when healthy anyway. So let's go get him. I know there's slight worries about like injury concerns because he missed most of this season, and then he had that like weird end of the season there where he could have played, but he decided to sit out. And was it injury? Was it upset with the contract situation with the Lions? Just didn't want to play for Patricia. Whatever the situation may be, I don't think it's. I think he was upset with his contract, and whether he would have stayed a Lion or they had extended him before the season, yada yada yada. I think he just didn't want to be there anymore because they didn't extend him. He wanted the money. He wanted to get paid. Obviously, that was a big part of it. But I also, it's the Lions. Smaller market than New York. You can get more endorsements as a Giant, more money, a little bit more of a competitive franchise, a better culture as a franchise. I don't mean a little bit more competitive. It's just right now the Giants are kind of rebuilding, similarly to the Lions. But I would consider the Giants in a closer state to being rebuilt. They have a more assured future than the Lions do right now. You don't really know. Joe Judge is a pretty competent-looking head coach. They're heading in the right direction as a franchise, whereas the Lions are about to enter a rebuild. So I definitely could see the reason you wouldn't want to stay in Detroit and go to a team like the Giants, who are in pretty much a similar rebuilding kind of state, but they seem to be toward the end. And the only really contender that looked like they were after Golladay looked to be the Ravens. And they didn't. It seems they didn't want to spend the money that the Giants were willing to spend on a very good wide receiver. By the way, I believe he's one of the top. What is it? Yeah, he's 17 contested catches on 20+ yard throws since 2017. He's like the king of contested catches. So that's going to be good for Daniel Jones. He doesn't need to get wide open. Just hit him in the hands and he can catch it. So this is great for the Giants. Gives them a bona fide #1. It eliminates a lot of excuses that Daniel Jones can have going forward. And, yeah, so Jones now has some weapons. The Giants have the receiver. Kenny Golladay has a home. The #1 receiving free agent is now off the board, unless you considered Robinson to truly be on the board. I really didn't, as, they tagged him. So let me know what you think. Did the Giants overpay for Golladay? Did Golladay just waste his career by going to Daniel Jones? Let me know what you think. Was this a great move for everyone around like I happen to think it was? Yeah, let me know what you think down below. I'll be sure to get back to you. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Little things, YouTube stuff and all that, whatever. So, all right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Kenny Golladay to the Giants, 4 years, 72 and $40 million guaranteed. Whew. That was a sad whistle. All right, see you later. Go Patriots.